Hello, everyone. A warm welcome to all of you once again. We are very delighted to be able to bring to you the fourth day and the fourth session of the 6-day National Online workshop on teaching of English. And we are very delighted to be joining you once again. We would like to apologize for the slight delay in starting our session this afternoon. We had some technical issues to take care of, but we are very glad that we've been able to come back online and to begin our session this afternoon. So a warm welcome to everybody once again to this 6-day National Online Workshop on Teaching of English being organized by the Center for Pre-Service Teacher Education under the Pandit Madan Mohan Malavia National Mission on Teachers and Teaching and School of Education, Nehu, Shillong, Meghalaya, the Altai Meghalaya chapter, and St. Anthony's College, Shillong, Meghalaya. So without further ado, we would like to welcome all our valued attendees to this fourth session of the 6-day National Online Workshop on Teaching of English. And today we have with us a very dear friend and a colleague and a resource person who will be sharing her experience and her expertise with us. We are glad to have with us Mrs. Christina Wanyang. She is an assistant professor in the Department of English at Shillong Commerce College, Shillong, Meghalaya. She has also taught communication skills and papers on communication at the Martin Luther Christian University for some time. And right now we are very, very delighted to have her with us. And without further ado, we would like to start our session immediately so that we have as much time as possible to learn from her and also to pose questions to her later. So once again, some housekeeping. We might be experiencing some technical issues, some network issues later. Remember, we are working from home and our Wi-Fi may not be just as strong as we want it to be. So in case we lose audio or visual somewhere down the line, please bear with us. We will try and get things on track. Hopefully it will not happen, but just in case it does, please do bear with us. And please remember also that we will be sending out the link to the feedback forms tomorrow towards the end of our 5th day session. And remember, there will be a quiz. So if you have not been able to attend the last 3 days of the session of the workshop, if you cannot answer those questions correctly, you may not be able to get the certificate. So in case somebody just joins us on the last day and applies for a certificate, that may not be possible. So you have to be present, you have to attend the sessions, and you have to be able to at least give your feedbacks on the different sessions that we've had so far. So remember, tomorrow towards the end of the session, we will be putting up the link to the feedback forms. And if you have attended at least 5 of the 6 sessions that we have hosted so far, we will be sending you a certificate of participation. Again, please remember, we will not be able to send you the certificates immediately on the 6th day. Please allow us at least 1 to 2 days to send out the certificates to everybody who has attended the session so far. So with these words, I would now like to hand over the rest of the time. We have about 1 hour, 30 minutes, and we are going to learn about teaching academic writing. And she's going to focus on one particular style of writing, one particular format. But of course, there will be a lot of examples and ideas that she'll be sharing with us. So I would now like to invite Mrs. Christina Wanyang to come online and to take the session for us. Over to you, ma'am. Can you please unmute your microphone, ma'am?
Okay, yes. Jacob, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, yeah. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Jacob. I apologize. Good afternoon, everyone. I really apologize for taking your time. We didn't have a problem before, but we started having a problem right now. So it just take a while. I think we got it now. I'll be talking about academic writing, and I believe that the majority of you are already good at whatever you're doing, and whatever I am going to do right now in this session actually would not really be so new to you, but just a few of the things which I'm going to base on my experiences as well. Probably we're going to learn a lot from each other. And so it's, I hope that because having this having the workshop has been helpful to me as well, because I have learned so much from the resource persons. And there's so many things in the world that are new to me that I really need to know and I need to learn. And as a teacher, I believe that I have to keep on learning. I really don't know everything, and we really learn from each other. And so I just hope you get to start now. I'm so sorry for this problem right now. Jacob, can you please allow the screen share?
Over to you, Nathaniel.
Yes, you should be able to share, ma'am. Can you give it a try?
No, Nathaniel, I don't know. No, it's not here, Nathaniel. No. I am so sorry to the rest of you. I'm so sorry and I apologize for this. Nathaniel, I can't, it's not here.
If you can, you should be able to try now.
No, Nathaniel. No.
Right. Okay, and Nathaniel, I think she has to be made a co-host.
Okay, we'll just try that, okay?
Okay, great.
So can you just try now? Yeah, if you can just tell me what you see on screen, perhaps I could guide you through it.
There's just Q&A, chat, and raise hand and leave. Is that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Share screen should be there.
I think she is still an attendee. She should not be an attendee.
Okay. Do you see the any participants panel, ma'am? Any participants button?
No.
No.
It's just a chat, Nathaniel.
Okay. So you see only the chat and the
Yes.
Q&A, right?
Yes.
So I would just request you to just log out, and if you can just go to Gmail and the same process that you did probably 5 minutes back, where you had to click on join in the email. If you can just do that.
Okay.
So you can exit. You can exit right now from the laptop. Exit Zoom from the laptop. Log out. I mean, yes. Log out. Just Zoom from Zoom. And then if you could open up your email, and there's one email which Sir Jacob had forwarded probably 10 minutes back.
Yes. Otherwise, ma'am, I can use the slide presentation that you have sent me, and you can just tell me to go next.
Okay, just give me a try. Just once.
Okay, great, wonderful. Okay, so we are back, and we are going to give our resource person a few minutes to fix the technical issue that she's facing right now. In the meantime, we would like to request you to send in your informal feedbacks on the chat box. Tell us how this workshop has benefited you over the last 3 days. What are you expecting from the next 3 days of the session that we are going to have? Today, we're doing teaching academic writing. Tomorrow, we're looking at an interactive approach to pedagogy. And on the last day, we're going to take a look at testing and evaluation. So if you can quickly put down your thoughts and your feedback on the session so far. Maybe a few words. We would like to see how we have been able to help you to learn something new. And if we have not helped you to learn something new, maybe we've helped you to revisit some old theories and concepts and have brought them to the fore and, shown you how we can teach using these techniques and these approaches in a new way. So while we're waiting for our resource person to fix the technical issue that she's facing right now, we would like to hear from you and to read your comments and your feedback. So can you please do that in the meantime while we're fixing the technical issue? Thank you so much for bearing with us. We hope to be able to get back online as soon as possible and to get on track with our learning. Okay, so again, we're going to try one more time to get online with Mrs. Christina Wanyang while they're fixing this.
So Jacob would request you to rename. I think ma'am has
Yes,
joined.
I'm doing that.
I did that.
Great, done. Okay, so we're looking at some chats and some information. It starts on time exactly. Yes, Ma'am Sira, we've been trying to do that, and it's not always very possible to start on time with technology and with the network. Nishikumar, the workshop has really benefited me as I teach English method in a B.Ed college. Great, sir. Poems were really interesting. Yes, it's again, a very productive session so far. We hope that it's going to be the same today. Elusa, maybe that is why we could not take a group photo on the first. Yes, I please remind me, Elusa, we can take a group photo again on the last day. And you'll have to give us some time. We need to promote everybody to co-host so that everybody can come online and we can take a photograph. Great idea, Elusa. We're going to do that definitely on the last day. So please, we can get ready, be on our in our best dress on that day. All right, so again, we're taking a look at Krishna Kumar. All the sessions are exciting and interesting. Wonderful, thank you to hear from you. Lydia M. Dingdo says, great experience. I wish to be a part and attend much more such workshops on English. Yes, we are going to have another round of workshops very soon in the month of November, again, being organized by the English Language Teachers Association of India, Meghalaya chapter. If you are an English teacher, whether language or literature, and if you would like to be a part of the English Language Teachers Association of India at the national level and at the state level, you can let us know. We would love to help you become a member of the national body and of the state body as well. The subscription fee is not very high. You can choose to be members for 3 years, for 1 year, or for a lifetime, and you get free access to journals. You get discounts on workshops, conferences, and seminars that we have been hosting and we will be hosting in the future. And you also get access to some of the literature by the International Association of Teachers of Foreign Language, so IATFL UK. So a lot of benefits. If you would like to be a part of, please drop it in the chat box, drop your name and your email ID and just say, I would like to be a member of the English Language Teachers Association of India. We will take your email down, we'll get in touch with you and we'll help you in the process. So over to Mrs. Christina Wanyang. We're just checking on you, ma'am. Are you able to fix your technical problem?
Yeah, sure. I'm
Great,
ready.
wonderful.
Thank you so much, Jacob.
Yes, so we are going to go live now again to Mrs. Christina Wanyang. Please do not worry about the duration of this session. We're going to end at 5:45 and we're going to take as many questions as possible. And as long as there is energy in Mrs. Christina to answer all the questions that we're going to get. So over to you, ma'am, for the next session.
Thank you very much, Jacob.
Writing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jacob. Yeah, can you see my slides?
Okay, wait, not yet. I think you have to start video, ask to start video, ask to start video. Okay, go ahead now.
Yeah, can you see now, Jacob?
Not yet. Nathaniel, anything from your end?
No, okay, we can see your video, ma'am, but on your laptop, if you could just click on share and share screen.
I already did, Nathaniel.
We don't see your screen yet, ma'am.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, you just do it again.
Is that fine?
Can you click on share? If you click on
Yes.
share.
Nathaniel, I think, yes, now we can see you. Now we can see. So can you start sharing your screen?
So there's a, Yeah, the button there which says share screen.
Okay.
And then,
Share.
yeah.
Excellent.
Is that fine?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Great. Okay. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Jacob. Thank you, Nathaniel. A very good afternoon to each and every one of you. I am so sorry for whatever happened. I didn't really plan it to happen. We actually tried before, but it was fine. So, okay, without much ado, let's go on with the session. Thank you so much for your patience as well. So today in this session, we're going to talk about teaching academic writing. I always had a problem with teaching academic writing to my students. Number one, I had no idea what in the world was academic writing till I started doing it myself and teaching to my students. And I believe that to most of us, we learn best when we started teaching rather than when we were students. Okay. Academic teaching is actually a fulfillment of a writing done to fulfill a requirement in a college or university. Even for writing exams and all of that, any writing assignment in an academic setting is academic writing. Okay, so there are different types of academic writing, like books reports, research papers, research articles, academic journals, conference papers. You have dissertation, a thesis of a higher level for that matter, abstracts, translations, essays. Essays also would fall under academic writing. So today we are going to look at essay writing. Okay, when we always have to start small. Before we are able to write a dissertation, we should be able to write an essay. And for most of us, we did everything big without knowing how to do the smaller things, and we just shift like that. And it's not our fault for that matter. We didn't really have so much of knowledge before. So now what is an essay? An essay is actually, in simple terms, just a piece of writing, actually, that's based on a specific topic. And it also displays the opinions and the thoughts of the author. Well, in academic sense, we also have, for examinations, we have essay type of questions, we have objectives. So for the objectives, we don't have a problem. With essay, it's a problem. Even though we have knowledge, we had no idea on how to organize and how to write and what to present and how to express whatever we've learned or whatever knowledge that we have. Okay, so there are the six C's of essay writing. Like we have the 6 C's of essay writing, and these are just the basics, as to say, when we talk about composition. How do we put the ideas into play? How do we connect them? Then we have the cadence, the flow. We talk about the language and how the language should flow. There should be a flow. When we're reading something, it's not like we just end abruptly. Then it has to be concise. When we're smart, we're very concise. When we're not smart, we beat around the bush. It's always like that. The clarity, like Ma'am Bamon said yesterday, language is very important. We talk about clarity. I believe that the simpler the language, the better the clarity. Because when we simplify the language, whatever we write, we know what we're writing about. If we have like these high-fi words and all of that, we confuse others and we confuse ourselves as well. So the content is very important. It has to be very specific, and there should be cohesion. Now, when we write an essay, we write different paragraphs, and then there should be cohesion between one paragraph and another, the essay. Okay, let me stop here for now. Like, am I very fast, Jacob? Hello, Jacob? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, ma'am.
Okay, am I too fast?
Perhaps the attendees could respond to that in the chat.
Okay.
They're saying no. They're saying
okay. I'm so tense. I'm going fast because I'm scared. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so whenever we had to write essays at school, you remember the same way that with me, whenever I had to write an essay and I had to answer a question, something like that, I would go and collect all the words and all of that. In the end, it ended up copy pasted everything. Like we just had to take this. We didn't have an idea. We knew what we had the knowledge. We had no idea on how to write. And therefore we just had to take notes from here, there, and everywhere. Okay, even relatives notes and all of that. That was the problem with us. We cannot afford to let our students suffer the way we suffered. Okay, all of us were always so scared that if we didn't do our job, the first drone we ever saw in primary school. For those of you who belong to the Jurassic Park age, the Jurassic age Aspen Sooks at that day, you still remember this? Yeah, all of us would have to do our work because we were scared of the first drone that we saw in primary school, isn't it? We were so scared of that. We were scared of being punished. We didn't even care whether we learned or not. It was just the punishments that made us do our work. Okay. Then we had to think, how do we do work? Then we had somebody smart would say, start writing a paragraph. Once you have many paragraphs, then you have an essay. First, you have to start writing a paragraph. Fine. You sit down, write a paragraph. Start writing a paragraph. You have a pen and a paper. Now you have. How do you start? Then most of us are always at a loss, frustrated. We had no idea on where to start, how to start, what do we write, how do we write, okay, how does it flow? Anyway, while somebody is still writing the paragraph, let us all have that cup of tea with the buns. Isn't that inviting? Now, sorry, I'll have a cup. Okay, so we're going to have a nice cup of tea with the buns. It's just the right time for us to do that. Now, while we're writing that, and you look at the buns look dry. You have the buns along with the tea, just too dry. So what do? Start filling up. You have nothing better to do than put in the filling in the buns. Now you fill in with whatever you want. You want meat, you want salad, you want tomatoes, you want all of that sauce and onions and omelette and everything. Start filling that up. You turn those dry buns into something really tasty. The burger, the dry buns, which look so ordinary and like dry. Even if you eat it also, it would be so dry. And now you have a burger. What magic did we do? It's just the filling. So the same way with a paragraph. You have a paragraph, you fill the paragraph. Now, what is a paragraph? A paragraph is, it's just a write-up of where you have just one idea, and usually we indent. We were taught to put on 2 fingers, we indent. And then, and if you don't indent, you just leave one space. And it's just actually a group of sentences, usually between 5 to 6 sentences, or a little bit more, but not too much, which talk about one idea. In just one paragraph, you have one idea, and that's a good paragraph. Now, when we start writing the essay, definitely we have to start with the paragraph. Okay, and if you have many paragraphs, it makes an essay. So now this is our paragraph. Okay, you have paragraph. You have those 3 friends. You have the introduction, the uppermost part of your bun. That is the introduction, the topic sentence. Your filling that you've done so far would be your detailed sentences. And the conclusion would be the conclusion sentence. That will be the lowest part of the bun. So this is the filling. Okay, when we have the bun. Okay, so now can you just please take a look at this and just read it and just see which one is the topic sentence, which are the detailed sentences, and which one is the conclusion sentence. I think we got it right. It's very easy, isn't it? You're all teachers. So this is it. The topic sentence. You just have to start something interestingly. I have often heard my friends complain about having to visit their relatives on weekends. So once you start off with that, you like to know why and how, what happened. Okay. Now would come the detailed sentences, the filling. First is that top. Now you have the filling. It is often a very dull and boring affair. You have to look your best and be ready to visit someone you haven't seen in years. The most amusing expression that greets you at the door is, how you have grown. This makes you wonder whether you're being praised or blamed. Okay? It's like that. You have the flow of the sentence. You have like from the introduction to the filling, when you fill it up with detailed sentences. These detailed sentences will always have to support your topic sentence. And then you conclude. Okay, so fine. Our students know how to do that. Let's just say I've just given that work to my students and they know. Now ask them to write. That is also a problem. How do we start writing? We know about the burger. We know about the filling. Now, how do we start? Well, which ingredients should we use for the top part of the burger? Okay, the introduction. So if you buy a burger, if you look at the top of the burger, if you look at the bun, the top of the bun, definitely the bun should look fresh, should smell good, should look yummy, and you feel like buying the burger, isn't it? You will not buy something that is dry, even though it is still a bun, it's dry, stale, it doesn't look attractive. You're not going to buy that. So how do you make that part attractive? Really have to know how to hook our readers. How do we hook our readers? We hook our readers differently. You can start with your question. A question probably would be, have you ever thought of a life without flowers? Definitely after that, somebody would like to read your work. Oh, really? Okay, let me think. Okay. How would it be like? Would I like it? Would I like it? You start following from there. Or you can have an emotion. For example, the depth of pain in her voice broke my faint heart. You'd like to know what happened to the little girl, isn't it? And then, or you can start with a sound. In the silence of the night, Jamie heard a whisper. Okay, that's scary also, isn't it? And sad at the same time. You definitely would like to know what happened after that. Okay, so and you can even start with a complaint. Now, this one is typical of us. Yeah, students love school life, but they really disapprove of surprise tests. Start with complaint. Why don't they like surprise tests if they studied for 1 year, okay, or for a few months, and you just give a test? What's the problem, isn't it? You start asking that, isn't it? Or we can start with the description. The eyes of the 5-year-old girl paint a century-old story of heartache and suffering. You describe that pain, that suffering after that. Or you can even start with an adjective. Okay, the happy tone on Cassie's cheeks complements her heart. Okay, that would be an adjective. Or it can be a repetition, like why didn't you think before you broke grandma's walking stick? Okay, then you start, following from there. That is how we hook our readers. That is a top of the bun that smells good, that looks attractive. Okay, that's not burnt. Okay, so you have all of the different ways. That's how our students learn to start. Learn to start. Once you start, once your once the introduction is good, that one sentence, whatever follows that will be very interesting. Okay, so now once we have cooked them, so let us see what you've done. I'll just give you like say 3 minutes, I think. Okay, you just kindly choose the topic sentence from these as the choices that I've given you. You can read that and choose the topic sentence. Okay.
Okay, we are looking at some inputs.
Okay.
From attendees, and as soon as we get some, we will be sending them through to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Jacob. You can just write A, B, C, D, doesn't matter.
Okay, we've got C, we've got B.
Okay.
Again, B, another C. So far, it's a B and a C.
Okay.
A lot of B's coming in. C's again.
Uh-huh.
C, B, all right, there's a B there. Okay, a lot of B's, ma'am, so far. Again, now we've got C's.
C's. This is fun, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're all participating. So we've got a lot of B's and a lot of C's. So there's a general inclination towards the B and the C.
B and the C. Yeah. I kind of like, I didn't make it too easy so that we'll have more fun. Okay, let's just check out what's the answer. The answer is C. The mouse saw the lion caught in the net. This is when you're paragraph writing, it's about thinking, the thinking ability, the thinking skills. So it's C, okay? For those who got C, it's correct. For those who got B, you're not far from the truth. You just drop down a little bit, you're there in C. Okay, so the mouse saw the lion caught in the net. This is a descriptive topic sentence. Now, if you look at that, okay, if you read that, the mouse saw the lion caught in the net. It came running to him and started to gnaw the strings of the net with its teeth. Silently, it went on with its work. A part of the net was cut, and the lion was able to free himself without much difficulty. You see how it flows? If you say the lion felt disturbed and woke up, it came running to him. What is it? Okay, it's that. Should be a meaning for that. So the mouse saw the lion caught in the net. If you say it, it means the mouse. You see that? That's how it works. Okay, so that's done. Congratulations. Okay, so now let's go to the detailed senses. Okay, I'll tell you this is stuck. Joe, it's stuck. Oh boy, I'm so sorry. It's what you say. Something is really wrong today.
Something is really good today. We are learning from you, teaching academic writing.
You can really, I mean, comfort David. Okay. The detailed senses, actually, they support the main ideas. Okay, it does support the main idea. Sorry, not ideas. The detailed senses support the main idea. When I talk about main idea, I'm talking paragraph. I'm talking about the topic sentence. Okay. Now, the detailed senses could sometimes be examples. These are just examples I'm giving. There's 3 of them. It could be examples. It could be reasons. And it could be process. We'll see later what I mean by that. So you have the detailed senses. And when you look at the detailed senses, so I want you to do another activity. You find out the detail, choose one from these, the detailed sense, detailed sentence, okay? This one, I've already done the rest.
Okay, we're looking for inputs. We're still waiting for our attendees to send in their feedback. So we're looking for details, yes? So, okay, we've got A as an answer from someone, C. We've got a B. All right, there's a lot of B and C's coming through right now.
Okay, good, good.
Okay, again, a lot of B's, a lot of C's.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
I think a lot of people are in agreement that is B. Okay, somebody said all. That's an interesting concept.
Oh,
all of the options above. All right, we've got a lot of B's and C's again coming in.
Okay, let's see what's the answer. Okay, the answer is B. Okay, they'll need a friend more than they will need a critic, an extended hand rather than a raised voice. You can just imagine a school child or a student coming to your class with that heavy load, that invisible heavy load. They will just long for some love and affection from us teachers. Probably the classroom is the only place where the child can have some peace. So let's take a look at the whole scene, okay? A teacher wears many hats: mentor, friend, expert, and even judge. But some students will need mercy more than justice. They'll bring a world of heartache into the classroom with them, and they'll need compassion. They'll need a friend. If you say they'll need to learn to respect, no, they need to learn that life has a few borders, a little bit tough, a little bit, I guess. They'll need a friend more than they will need a critic, an extended hand rather than a raised voice. Experience will tell you the difference. So it's B, okay? So for those who said C, who wrote C, it's fine. You can go up a little bit, you're there, okay? So this is how it all works. But some students will need mercy more than justice. They'll bring a world of heartache into the classroom with them, and they'll need compassion. They need a friend more than they will need a critic, an extended hand rather than a raised voice. Remember when I talked to you about the detailed senses, I said they could be examples, reasons, or a process. This is a reason. Okay? You have 3 reasons why you should be nice to them. Why should we wear different caps in the class? We're not just teachers. Okay, so this is the reason why you're doing that. Okay, so we'll move on to the conclusion. Now you have the conclusion sentence. Okay, a conclusion sentence is actually a reinforcement of the topic sentence. However, we cannot write the same thing. We just have to paraphrase. Okay, and you just have to make sure that the conclusion sentence is equally good. You know, that part of the bun is equally good as the other upper part of the bun, because the latter part of the bun, okay, sorry, the latter part of the paragraph, the conclusion sentence actually should be able to link us to the idea in the new paragraph. So this one, number one, we have to paraphrase, and there should be a connection between the topic sentence and the conclusion sentence. And at the same time, the conclusion sentence should be able to connect us to the new paragraph. We have a new paragraph. Okay. So can you please find the conclusion sentence here?
Okay, we're still waiting for feedbacks.
Okay, come on,
answers.
fast.
Okay, it sounds a little bit tough. Okay, we've got a B.
Okay.
C.
Uh-huh.
A lot of B's again.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. A lot of B's. Yes. Oh, we've got a C now. Okay, some C.
Okay.
B. Very good. Okay, our colleagues are doing well. We've got an A somewhere there in the middle. Okay, a lot of B's and a lot of C's.
This is fun.
Yep.
This just
a lot
shows
of A's. There's another A, and okay, we've got B's and C's now.
Okay. This just shows that we are all different. We think on a different level, and so do our students. Okay, so let's check out which one is. The answer is B. Okay. B, they might as well get used to taking the risk now. That's the answer. If you look at that, the topic sentence should always be linked to the conclusion sentence. You see, in meaning. Okay, in meaning. So if you look at the topic sentence, okay, let your students know that they don't have to be afraid of giving wrong answers. If you conclude that, they might as well get used to taking the risk now, because they should not be afraid that they might as well take the risk now. You see that connection? So there you have your paragraph. Okay. Now, how in the world we say, like, okay, all roads lead to Rome? Fine. Now we have an essay. You have an essay, and yet we will, like, how do we go to, you know, what are the different ways of writing an essay? Now, what kind of an essay do you want? If somebody says, like, I want rice, now you go to a restaurant, you say you want rice, a plate of rice. They will ask you, isn't it? You want biryani, pulao, plain rice, anything like that. Okay, definitely. So the ingredients that you put in, what your preparation for the ingredients and everything is different for every preparation. So definitely, even if you talk about the essay, there are different ways of doing that. Now, you have an essay, fine, but what kind of an essay do you have? Okay, we have to be careful with that, because we cannot just mix up everything. Okay, so you have the different ways. I'm not going to do much. I'm going to talk only about the 4 types of essays. Okay, the narrative, which tells a story; descriptive, which puts a picture in your head; expository, that explains something; and the persuasive, which wants the audience to agree with you. Just 4. Okay, then different types of essay writing. Okay, the narrative, descriptive, expository, and persuasive. These are the 4 that we can do today. And I believe that if we teach the students just these 4, also they can manage to learn the others by themselves, and once they master the art of writing these 4, they're fine. Okay, so how do we write that? How do we do this? The narrative, fine, we know you tell a story. How do you tell a story? What do you do? Okay, and you have the descriptive, the expository, and the persuasive. So let's look at the essay writing. Some essay writing tips. I'm not going to go into detail. Once you have the paragraph, you know how to write a paragraph, it's very easy to write the essay. Okay, we just have to know what type of an essay. Okay, once you know how to prepare rice, it's very easy. You just have different ingredients and you put there and you have the khichdi. Okay, so the narrative essay. The narrative essay is actually tells a story. It's writing about a story, and the purpose is to entertain. Okay, so it describes an experience, a person, a thing, an event, anything. Why, when, what, how, where, all of that. Okay, that's a narrative essay. It's very simple. It's fun. And for children in high school, middle school, and all of that, this is a fun way of starting to write an essay. We cannot be very hard in the beginning. So this is the narrative essay. Okay. So it's very, very easy. You understand. We all know how to tell stories. The only thing is we have to learn to put it in paper and express. Okay. Now, what happens with I know, ma'am, Dr. Sunita will do this in the evaluation and assessments later. I'm sorry, ma'am, but I'll just have to talk about this a little bit. I'm not going to do evaluation now. What I feel is this: as a teacher and from my experience, I found that if I give work to my students and I don't tell them what I expect from them, I just say do this, do that. They don't know what to do. Neither do I. Okay. So when I experimented with my students for a few years now, whenever I give them work, and I would specifically tell them, okay, I'm going to look at this, 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 this. For the rest, fine, you're fine. At least you improve on these things first. It could be grammar, it could be logical thinking or logical arrangement of ideas. It could just be creativity, it could be research, things like that. Okay? I would tell them, they would concentrate on those things, not that they would not do the rest. Now, telling them and giving them a rubric is important. I found that in my experience, I found that summative evaluation is very difficult. It's difficult for me, and I don't feel that I'm fair enough. Of course, I can never be perfect, but I don't feel I'm fair enough. The biggest problem is this. When I ask my students to redo the work, they have no idea on how to redo. Neither do I know what I want them to do. I just want a good work and I have no idea. However, if you give a rubric and you pinpoint to the students, you might be very good in grammar. You're lacking in logical arrangement of ideas. Then the student can think about logical arrangement of ideas. Okay? Grammar is fine. Logical arrangement of ideas is different. It's a problem. So you can think like that. So whenever we do work, we can have the rubric. It's very easy. You can just download, you can just Google and all of that, or you can make your own. For my students who are not, like a class that's, when you have a mixed class, usually I'll make my own rubric. Very simple. I'll not tell them in detail about so many things, but I will inform them. You see that when they start doing the work and they rewrite or they redo, they improve. They see improvement. Once they have a sense of direction, it's very easy. So I would suggest, it's just a suggestion, that if you give work to our students, we also have to tell them the rubric and how we are going to assess them. What are we going to look at? And if we look at this rubric, we can see, and even if we give marks, we see that we give marks accordingly. So if the person, let's say a student is very good with grammar, will lose marks because the student cannot present, isn't it? The logical arrangement of ideas is not there. But the person who can present logically will get more marks even though the grammar is all over the place. Then that's not fair. Okay? And students also don't know where they need to improve because we're all different. We're not the same. They don't know where to improve. And we teachers are equally at a loss. We have no idea on how to improve somebody. If we give a rubric, we know exactly how to help our students improve. So for every kind of an essay, a narrative essay, you have a rubric. Okay. For any type of an essay, you also have a rubric. There's a rubrics for everything actually nowadays. Okay. So descriptive essay. What's a descriptive essay? I find this to be a little more interesting and more creative. You have a descriptive essay. A descriptive essay actually, it tells you about the writer's impressions and thoughts about something. And we have to be careful with the descriptive essay. It's more fun to work with because you touch on the sensory details. All the senses will have to be involved there. The sensory details will be there. And because of that, we always have to use descriptive words and very, very colorful adjectives. That would really help us, with the explanation, with the expression, and with the writing. And you have to remember, the narrative essay tells a story. You can tell a story as it is. A descriptive essay paints a picture with words. It doesn't tell exactly, it just paints a picture with words. And the way you paint it, okay, should impress our feelings, our memories, associations in life. I'll give you an example. I have this box, okay? If I just say that this is a box, fine, everyone knows that this is the box. However, if I say this is a treasure where all my childhood memories are kept. Sounds nice, isn't it? I like to look at that. And it's just not just a box. It becomes a different thing altogether. There's something mystical about it. There's something mysterious about it. And you like to know more what it is. And once you start off like that, you can tend to explain on the same level, because if your introduction is good, I told you whatever follows after that should be good. And here you have the descriptive essay. It's like that beautiful descriptive essay. And most of the songs, all of that, they write descriptively, isn't it? Okay, so now suppose you were to write a write-up about adopting a child. You see this one, this is an orphan. Suppose you have to write about, sorry. Okay. I just have to, something is wrong with this. Okay, I got it. Oh no, not again. I am so sorry. Okay. Suppose I have, I'm so sorry. Suppose I write an article or an essay about adopting a child, and I write a descriptive essay. Okay, then you have to remember, you have to really concentrate on the senses. If you look, the sight, the sense of sight, look at his eyes that paint a heartbreaking life. Don't you feel like hugging the child by now, even though you don't know the child? And then hearing, listen to his silence that cries out for your love. Sad, isn't it? And then the emotions, you feel the longing for protection in his demeanor. Okay, you look at him, you feel that longing for protection. He's crying out for love, and the sense of smell the sweet sense that emanates from this little figure. Okay, and you taste, and if you do all of that, you pick up the child in your arms, you taste the satisfaction of caring for a helpless child. In that case, if you were to write like this, probably all of us will start adopting. Okay, so it's that's the way of presenting. Okay, and then we have the rubric. I am so sorry. Okay, there's a rubric. Okay, there's a rubric for a descriptive essay where you look at the introduction, okay, the sensory details. Introduction, if introductory paragraph clearly states subject of essay and captures reader's attention. That's the rubric, for somebody who's very good, it's like that. Then for somebody who's not really that good, no attempt is made to state the subject of the essay in an introductory paragraph. See the difference? How you do the rubric? Then you check on sensory details. Essay includes details that appeal to at least 3 of the 5 senses. Senses: taste, touch, sound, sight, and smell. Then you have the word choice, simile, metaphors. You use a lot of similes, metaphors, personifications here. Then there's a sentence structure, and you have the grammar, the spelling. For me, if I were to teach something like this, the grammar would come a little bit later, because I feel like most of my students, once you check on grammar, they don't like doing work. So, but however, if we encourage them to start writing and all of that, you correct the grammar afterwards, they don't mind so much. I don't know about your students, however, that's my experience. Okay, so that's with the descriptive essay. Now, expository essay. This is what we have to do most of the times when we write exams, especially when our students write exams. Expository essay, and a lot of our thesis dissertation would fall under this. Okay, expository essay is a little bit different. If you look at narrative is fiction. Expository essay is non-fiction. We have to remember that the author cannot add anything imaginary. Okay, you just have to write about facts and details, only details about facts. Okay, and the text is mostly to present information. Okay? And you look at the structure, and then you look at what comparison, you look contrast, cause and effect, problem, the solution, everything in an expository essay. most of our answers, scripts and answers and all of that in the exams, we all follow the expository essay. We cannot make up, that the sun is round and we say the sun is what, square. It cannot be like that. And it's for giving information. It's not for entertainment. If you look at narrative, it's entertainment. If you entertain, you can add spice. However, if it is for information, the information has to be very factual. Okay, so expository texts include textbooks, okay, fiction, non-fiction, like library books, newspapers, essays, speeches, government documents, okay, and then you have expository rubrics as well. So if you in expository rubrics, we look at ideas, organization, the voice. The voice will be the writer's voice sounds confident. We will be confident only when we know. Okay, so the writer's voice sounds confident, knowledgeable, and enthusiastic. Then you have the word choice, you have the sentence fluency, and you have conventions. Conventions would be your grammar, your punctuations, and the spellings should be correct. Okay, this is for information. Definitely, if you give information, for example, and the grammar is incorrect, if I say I went to school tomorrow, well, it's much better that we didn't give any information at all, because that's very confusing. It's just all because of grammar. Or it can be a spelling. A spelling can make all the difference in the world. Okay. So now the last one, which is the persuasive essay. We did the narrative, the descriptive. Narrative tells story, descriptive paints a picture for us. Then we had the expository, which is more academics and more, just a plain, factual. Now we have the persuasive essay. This is really good. Like when we write, proposals and project proposals and all of that, you have a lot of this at work. Okay. So you look at the persuasive essay. When we persuade, we remember the power of 3. Okay? Here it's just for our students, we teach 3, or you can have one extra, like 4 or 5 more. But if you give too many points, too many reasons, it becomes a problem. Okay. So the power of 3, including the list of 3 items, 3 reasons and why you're saying what you're saying, why you think you're right. And then you have the emotive language. Definitely, if we are going to persuade somebody, we really have to work and get the attention and the emotions of that person. Okay. So the words, the phrases, the imagery and everything like that should be there. Then you have the rhetoric questions. Okay, you ask questions that you ask your audience, but you don't expect an answer. For example, how would you like to live in a world without flowers? Nobody is going to answer to that question, but you start thinking, really, if there were no flowers, what would it be like? Would it be beautiful? Would we have an idea on how to smell good? Would we have an idea of colors? Would we have an idea of beauty? You can just think about that. So rhetorical questions are like that. You say it again. It's just repeating whatever you want to persuade the person to do. Okay. It'll be nice if we can paraphrase. Sometimes we repeat the word. Okay. And then you undermine opposing views. We put kind of like criticize in a way. Don't be so blunt, but like kind of like, this is better because it affects like this, like that. You can be you have to be diplomatic when it comes to that. Then we have anecdotes, when you have stories, okay, to share. And then you have direct address, okay, when you involve audience by speaking to them directly. Okay, talk to your audience directly. And the exaggeration, sometimes you exaggerate a little bit to get the point across. Okay, that's with the persuasive essay. This is the grading sheet of the persuasive essay. Okay, if you look at the introduction, it's really different. Topic and controversial issue introduced effectively. Both sides of opinions presented with brief reason. Your own position stated clearly. 3 supporting reasons stated in parallel structure. Then the body. You have, remember the 3 reasons. Now you have the paragraph 1, 2, and 3. And for both of them, or for the 3 of them, topic sentence stating first reason presented clearly. The second one will be the stated second reason, and the third reason. Then you have examples sufficient, relevant, and specific. Then you have the closing remarks related the examples to topic sentence. Okay, so And then the conclusion, 3 reasons summed up in a unique way, pointed out solution or called for action, giving the reader a sense of ending. That's how we end the whole essay. And you look at all of that, the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. Okay. Now we have the 3 types of burgers: the narrative, descriptive, expository, and the persuasive. Now, when you look at all of these burgers, okay, so what happens after that? Okay, so we're going to take a look at this. Can you please do this activity? I think by now you would have understood a little bit. If you don't mind, just do this activity. You just match the following, okay? You just have the types and the characteristics.
Okay, Rudy says 4:1, which means is
Okay.
4:1. Somebody saying 1 is 4, then 2 is 3. 1 to 4, 1 to 4. Okay, there's a lot of people saying 1 to 4.
1, 4.
Again, 2 to 3.
3. Okay,
1 to
1, 4.
Yes.
2, 3. Okay.
Okay, interesting. 1 is okay. A lot of people are in agreement. The first type is the characteristics is number 4. Okay, so we've got 1.
Okay, that's correct.
Interesting. 2 and 3.
2 and 3, correct.
Okay, 1 and 4, 2 and 3, 3 and 2, 4 and 1.
3 and 2, correct.
Okay, I think a lot of people are getting it right. Okay, awesome.
Wow, great. Oh, wow, I'm happy. Okay, great. Either you already know all of this or you really paid attention, okay? Oh, that's nice. Good, congratulations. You got it all right. Okay, you match the following. You have the narrative. The purpose is to entertain, tells a story, describes an experience. Descriptive paints a picture, shows, doesn't tell. Okay, expository gives information, explains. And persuasive, writer's position is clearly stated, wants the audience to agree. Okay, congratulations. That's very good. I'm so happy. Okay, so now let me tell you a story. Okay, we talk about oh no. Okay, so we all know what is a narrative essay, a descriptive essay, an expository essay, and a persuasive essay. Okay, so I'll tell you of a story. You know, like the Cambridge University had its annual Latin essay writing contest, and in 1785. Okay, the essay writing contest really proved to be a turning point in the history of Great Britain. It was just a simple essay writing contest. In 1785, it proved to be pretty different. Okay, in the contest, Thomas Clarkson, if you can see it there in the picture, Thomas Clarkson, he was armed only with words, nothing else, and he wrote the essay about a horrific human tragedy that took place a few years before that. Okay, so what happens was near the end, okay, actually near the end of a very long voyage from Britain, if you look at the map, from Britain to Africa to the West Indies. It was during the slavery was really much in fashion at that time. Near the end of a very long voyage from Britain to Africa to the West Indies, the captain of the British slave ship, there's a slave ship called Zong, Z-O-N-G, actually ordered his crew to throw 133 chained black Africans to the deaths. Simply for what? Just to gain from the insurance. Okay, 133. So before he reached the port, okay, he asked his crew to throw 133 chained Africans, black Africans, okay, to the dead. So they were thrown in the water. Now, actually, nobody was charged in the murder of these Africans, okay? And no one in the Zong affair actually was persecuted for murder. It was very sad. The judge said that it was just a problem between the captain and the insurance company. And he even mentioned, what was very sad was just he declared that the drowning was just as if horses were killed. Okay? These people with souls, with lives, with families were equivalent to horses, just animals, nothing else. Okay? And then he even declared that there was just like, it was just as if horses were killed. And definitely that happened before 1785. And moved by the fate of the Zong victims and the indifference of the court, the university vice chancellor actually, as a topic for the Latin essay contest, he chose a question, and I'm going to give it to you in a translated version because I don't know Latin. He chose a question as a topic, and the topic was: is it lawful to make slaves of others against their will? Is it lawful to make slaves of others against their will? That was the topic. Okay, so Thomas Clarkson, student at that time, he won the essay contest. While he was writing the essay contest, he did his research. He met people, he talks to people. Definitely, it happened just a few years before that. There would be witnesses, there would be people who would know about the story, there would be people who would have lost somebody, another would have known something or the other about whatever happened. Okay, now he wrote a very, very good essay, and he won the essay contest. And shortly after winning that, okay, because when he wrote the essay, his heart was all there. And shortly after winning the essay contest, his conscience gripped him, and his all-consuming focus was on one moral idea. And that was: no man can rightfully claim, moral or otherwise, to owning another. He was so concerned with the way the Africans were treated, the way the slaves were treated. And especially after writing the essay, it affected him so much that it made him, it made him so uncomfortable with the way his society was living and treating other human beings. Okay, so Clarkson, along with William Wilberforce, who became a parliamentarian later, and along with a small group of like-minded people, began fighting the battle to end slavery. It was not easy. If slavery was in fashion and people loved slaves, and they thought that they got things easy and they didn't have to pay for anything, it was very difficult to uproot something like that. And this was a kind of evil that had been there in the society for a long, long time. Okay, so now, with the assistance of Wilberforce in 1807, it was a bill was passed in Great Britain in 1807. Okay, so yeah, in 1807, a bill was passed in Great Britain, and this bill was passed to abolish slave trade. It was just slave trade, and later on, because of this, another bill was passed whereby slavery itself was abolished. Okay, slave trade, first it was slave trade, then later on a bill was passed where slavery itself was abolished. Okay, now Samuel Taylor Coleridge called Clarkson a moral steam engine. I've never heard of that before. Okay, a moral steam engine. That would be so nice, isn't it? And at the same time, he called him the giant with one idea. The essay was just one idea. So he called him the Samuel Taylor Coleridge called Clarkson, okay, the moral steam engine and the giant with one idea. And the abolition of slavery in Great Britain actually started from nothing else but an essay. Okay, Lawrence W. Reed, okay, a former university professor who actually wrote this article, which I'm telling you the story about, this article in 2012 or 2005, sorry. He wrote about Clarkson, and he said the process of, because he was writing about essay writing, okay, and he came up with the story. Then he said that The process of researching and writing exerted significant influence over a student's future interests, thinking, and perhaps even behavior. You see, how is it that in the process of working, of writing, everything changes? We see life from a different perspective. We see the world from a different angle. If we didn't know how to do work, if we didn't know how to write, we'll just be writing to finish a work, to finish something, the job we've been asked to do. That, however, if we know how to do, then there's much more going on. The thinking, the we'd be able to think more and express better. Okay. And then he actually aptly titled his article as A Student's Essay That Changed the World. Imagine, a student's essay that changed the world. I never thought that an essay would really be so important in changing the world, so influential. Okay. And then definitely essay, if we teach our children essay writing, we teach them how to do it well. And if you look, and when we look at teaching our children, we also have to remember their potentials. All of them have different potentials, all of them have different abilities, all of them have different interests. So definitely, probably, I'm just suggesting, probably if we teach them essay writing, and we give them these different types of essays, we can just ask them to choose which type they would like to use, which technique they would like to use. Because I, for one, probably will not be good with expository essay writing. Okay, I'll be more with descriptive and things like that. So if you give them the choice to choose, we will see them shining. It's not a competition. We have to make our students remember that we, like somebody said, we are born to be originals. We cannot die duplicates. We cannot at all differentiate between one student and another. The potentials are totally different. The beauty is different in different ways. Some students will do better in the narrative essay. Some will excel in expository. Some would be so good at the persuasive, and they'll become great people who can write such good reports, and sorry, not reports, project proposals. They could bring in a lot of change in the society. Okay, there's a lot that can happen, and if we teach our students the right way to do work, they'll be less bothered with not knowing what to do and have to do. But now that they know how to do things and how to do work, they will bring in their expertise, they'll bring in the individuality and everything, and you will see a person evolving, another person evolving. So definitely essay writing can definitely turn our disillusioned students to influencers and to reformers of the modern world. Okay, if we teach them well, we lead them by the hand and we give them the choice. Okay, so I suggest that when we give, when we make our students do assignments, we also give them a choice. If you want them to do well and excel and love doing what they do. So these disillusioned, why are we also disillusioned as students? We don't see scope in, spreading our wings. We are like butterflies who are kept somewhere. We have all of the colors, but we can't really show beauty. We can't really do much in a world that's just being bombarded with roots. Okay, so when we have all of these rules that we can cover, and then at the same time we give them the choice to make a difference, how much more would we bring a difference? Even when you read the text and you read in the exams, if you read all of their works and all of this, it will be so interesting. And if we give them assignments, we'll see another side of them. They will love doing what they do. And these are the people that we have to encourage to go write, keep writing. If they cannot change the world, somebody else will do it, because somebody else, after reading that work, will be so motivated to do something and bring about change in the modern world. Here we have these reformers and these influencers in our hands. Okay. Thank you very much. You've been so good and so nice, and you've really made this session so comfortable. In fact, in spite of the fact that I've stolen your time, I apologize for that. Thank you so much. God bless you. And now let's just go and have that cup of tea. And since I told you the story about Clarkson, we can have that narrative burger and enjoy it. Thank you very much. And over to you, Jacob.
Well, thank you so much, ma'am. First of all, I am very much hungry after looking at all the wonderful buns and delicious looking burgers there. But anyway, but I'm right now I'm more inspired to start learning again how to write. And yes, learning how to write essays has been a wonderful session today. Many of us have gone through school and through college really not knowing how to write, if you were to be honest.
Me too.
Yes, and we have never been taught how to write at all. It has been, in school where it has been taken for granted that we know how to write.
Yeah.
And as English literature students, we join the English department hoping to learn how to write, but then we find out our teachers expect us to be experts in the field and know how to write answers and so on. But so today we have got the opportunity to actually sit down and learn from you. And we've learned in a very wonderful way. You have made things so simple for us. And I really like the examples that you've used. The stories, even though they look too easy for us, but they are very, very insightful because we got to learn from those stories how to differentiate between a topic sentence and a tense sentence that needs to be used at the end, and how to fill the burger with all the right meat and the right, filling. So that was a very wonderful way of actually teaching how to teach academic writing. And I believe I've seen from the chat box, a lot of people are saying it's a very insightful session. They've learned a lot from you. And so we've got a few questions right now, so I'm going to put them across to you. We still have got a lot of time on our hands, and we would like to explore some ideas and some concepts again. So let me start off with a few questions that our colleagues have sent us. So the first question is from K. Rita Devi. I think you know her very well. We know her very well. It's a senior teacher. So she says, is dictation an activity that practices writing, or does it practice a different skill? Is dictation an activity that practices writing, or does it practice a different skill?
Okay, ma'am, I think dictation actually enhances listening skills. Okay, it enhances the listening skills because students will really have to listen carefully to be able to write. Now, when it comes to writing skills, not really, but it improves the spellings because you have to check the spellings, and mostly it'll be for listening. So if you want to test somebody, you test in the dictation, you want to test the child's listening skills, because it's very important whatever you're saying. And because if a student doesn't listen, doesn't even know how to listen, it's very difficult. We can go and blah 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 for hours, and it's all a waste.
I think it's also a test of how fast you can write. I mean, how strong your hand is.
Yes. Nowadays, we can't even write because we keep on typing. We're so bad.
Yes. I actually, honestly, I hate teachers who dictate a lot in the classroom, but you know what? I've become a dictator in that term in the classroom sometimes. Anyway. All right. So One Polite Par says this. He wants to know, under which category of essay would one place autobiographies?
Probably narrative. It can be narrative and descriptive. And you also, and if you're interested in that and you want to know the points on how to go about it, you can even look at the rubric. You have a rubric that has both narrative and descriptive in one rubric. Okay.
All right.
So if there's one trick that I use when it comes to working. I have no idea on how to work. Okay. I'm like as blank as a blackboard. But the thing is just that I've noticed that when I look at rubrics, I know how to work. Okay, because if you have a rubric, you have the different slots. I start knowing how to work. So that is a nice start. Rather than look at the definition, a rubric would help me more.
Yes, I agree. And in fact, I found the rubric that you've shown us very, 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 very practical and, very clear, because you can go from one aspect of the rubric to another aspect of the rubric. And then you can try and match what the rubric is asking you to do. And so that's also a very good way of evaluating writing skills. Right? Yes. So that is something that we need to keep in mind. All right. Okay, Rudy Lindor asks this. Could you kindly explain in a few effective steps to paraphrase? And I think this is also something that many of us would like to learn. How to paraphrase something.
You need a class for paraphrasing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do. And all of us do.
No, all of us, even me.
Mm.
Paraphrasing, one of the steps. I'll just give you a few steps, okay? One of the steps is changing the language in the sense of words. Okay, if you can use one word for many words. You have the people who live in the village, you have villagers. That would help to cut down.
Mm.
Then you can, you have to think of, actually, it's not just words, it's the idea. The idea is more important because we are all grown up now, so we're not working with words like that. And it's that idea. If you can rephrase that, imagine, look at that idea, read it, then imagine what you understand, and then you write and you connect in that way. That also helps. And try as much as possible not to repeat the words
Mhm.
and the sentence. So you rewrite the sentence in a different way. Okay, you have to keep on. Paraphrasing is not easy. It takes a lot of time. Okay, and we all end up in trouble because we don't paraphrase plagiarism.
Mm.
So paraphrasing, you have to give, can't really explain much, but if you have a passage and you like Prissy writing,
I
that's
was about
also
to say that.
paraphrasing.
I was waiting for you to finish. I was waiting for you to finish. Okay.
Okay, Prissy writing, that'll be a good one.
Yes.
You and in paraphrasing, try to cut whatever is not important. Okay, like a Prissy, it's not important. You have certain examples that are not necessary. They're just examples for you to understand. Then don't write those. It's just for us to understand. And if you have to paraphrase, cut away whatever is unimportant.
Yeah, I think we need to reintroduce essay writing in schools. We are not saying that anymore. But at the most, we're just saying summary or summarizing. But that summarizing does not really help as much as essay writing does. So maybe we can think about this. And even though we do not have it in our syllabus, what we can do is we can teach them in the classroom. I mean, look, we used to have essay writing in our college days, and we learn how to do essay writing. So I think this is something that we can reintroduce in our classes. Okay.
In class 12, they do write Prissy writing, but students have no idea what is a Prissy. So till now, so we really need to teach well.
Of course. Okay, we've got plenty of questions coming in. Nishi Kumar says constructivism is used in order to teach essay. He wants to know, which method did you use today when you were teaching? I think constructivism is more like a theory of learning, constructing knowledge. So did you use a particular method or approach to teaching writing today, or was it?
I haven't thought of that.
Okay, yeah, I think, but constructivism is used when people come together to construct knowledge from sharing their experience, their ideas, and their perceptions. But I don't think that has been done today through this particular session. We are not seeing any particular kind of theory or concept so much. It's just a way of teaching writing. Yes. Okay, so we go on to the next question. Bibiana Rentatyang says, can you hear me?
Yes, I can now. Yeah.
Okay, Bibiana Rentatyang says, ask, would an imaginative essay be the same as a descriptive essay? Imaginative essay, the same as a descriptive essay?
Descriptive essay, yes, it would. Because you're using the senses. Okay, so the way you explain narrative, you can just narrate the stories like that. A descriptive essay is more imaginative. It's more fun. It's more creative.
Okay, this is a question from Tosanlang Karsati. Okay, how would you teach essay to students who have foundational gaps in their writing, especially class 12 students who come from rural areas? This is something that we see very much when the class 12 students join the BA first year English honors class. That is where we see they have a lot of problems with writing. How will you fix it? Or how do we fix it?
Okay, probably I will not start with descriptive. Okay, I might start with narrative and expository, not even persuasive. Okay, so narrative because it's easy. They can tell a story. I'll just probably ask them to tell a story. Now you just write down the story in just like, just one part of the story in just one paragraph. So let's work on that. And then expository, because let's just say you have something that you
Unmute yourself, ma'am. Okay.
know, just that.
Yeah. All right. Then we come to Dawanisa Dahar. How can we as teachers help students with very low level of proficiency in English write paragraphs and essays? This is going to take a lot of hard work. I mean, first of all, we need to teach them the language before we can teach them writing.
Yes.
But how would you do it? What would you suggest?
Before I start to writing, when it comes to students with, in my experience, students with low proficiency in English, I start with the speaking skills.
Okay.
So when they text me, till now, I ask them to text in English. It doesn't matter. Okay? If I can understand you, you can communicate to me, it's fine, because you cannot be so tough on them. And then that's the only writing they do when they text nowadays, okay? Or else they don't even text. So, and then it's more of the speaking. So when they meet, they want anything, they have to speak in English slowly and slowly, then only they improve. But it's difficult. It takes time.
Yeah. I mean, they really need help with the language first,
Yes.
grammar and structure.
Yeah. And one thing more, I always encourage my students to read children's storybooks. I find that to be the easiest way to learn English. Just the stories are nice, are good, interesting.
Okay.
The way it's written is very interesting and simple.
Okay, we have a question from Dr. T. Chandrasekharan. He's from Nagaland. I think he's teaching there probably. He says, can we consider teaching essay writing as teaching language in its totality? Can we consider teaching essay writing as teaching language in its totality? Interesting question.
What about literature?
Yeah. Okay,
I think it has more to do with language. I think Ma'am Baman will be the right one to answer that question.
Maybe we can put this to her tomorrow. Yeah, so I'm saving that for Ma'am Baman.
Yes.
If she has some time, she can help us with answering this question. But I think to a certain extent, yes, I think teaching essay writing is part of teaching language to a great extent.
Language.
Yeah, you know what is called the productive skills of writing and speaking. So
Yes.
teaching essay writing is part of the productive skills of teaching the productive skills of writing. And I think anybody who can write an essay really well is somebody who is also very systematic in thinking. I wouldn't say that they will be very good speakers, but they would definitely have their thoughts properly.
Logical arrangement of ideas.
Arrangement of thoughts and ideas.
Yes.
And I've also found that people who can write really well can also speak really well. I mean, to a large extent, we see this. But there are times when we find people who can speak really well are not really great writers. So again, the skills can differ. Okay, so we go on to the next question. I'm looking for some more question in the chat box. We have got, okay, this is from Nitu. Nitu asks this: if a student has flowery language and minimum points, and another student has more points with bare minimum language, how should we grade them? It's like being caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. You do not know which one to choose. Right, all right, what would you say?
Follow the rubric.
The
rubric
so on that,
will have, because you'll have, sorry?
Yeah, no, I mean, no, Bibiana Rintathyang says, how can we develop a rubric that would help us evaluate a certain kind of writing? So if you keep, is there a rubric that is already developed and available for us to download? Yes, okay, great. So we can look for rubric. Okay, ma'am.
Because in the rubric, it's like this. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. In a rubric, it's like this. Like, if you look at language, then you have to look at, let's say, content. So language, this person might be very high, content low, this one will be high here. It's more as teachers, we should be more concerned with our students learning than getting marks. So then after that, you can leave your students to learn on their own. Then you'll have quality teaching.
Okay, great. Okay, so I think we have one more question, and if we don't have any more question, then we will be able to come to the close of our session this afternoon. I mean, this evening. So this question is from Dr. N. Samuel Babu, and the question is, ma'am, what is the role of writing in digital age? Very pertinent question, very relevant today. What is the role of writing in digital age?
The role, what do you mean by the role? Like, how do you use writing in the digital age?
Yeah, yeah, probably yes. I mean, we
like
are we still going to use writing today?
Yes, like no, now we have to learn how to write in Facebook. We have, like now I have to teach my students how to write emails. So email writing is still a headache. Okay, you talk about writing, you talk about digital age, teach students how to write email. We've always taught them to write letter. That email, you have to have mail etiquette, and you follow a certain rule. And it's so difficult for students to even do that. I have more problems with teaching them how to write in 3 sentences than write in 10. So that's, I don't think we can get rid of writing.
You're right. I think it's evolving right now. The way we've been doing writing for so far, it's beginning to evolve as more and more people take to the internet to write. And we're seeing more people publishing their stories online on something like Wattpad and other platforms. So I think writing is still something that's going to stay for as long as people communicate with each other. But probably the way we do it and the medium we do it will change, and the style will be different. I don't know how you feel about this, but this is what I think. Our style will change, and the way we write will change to a certain extent. Okay, so I think we have just one last question from Nishi Kumar, and I think this will be something that will be very relevant for students who are in the undergoing training in B.Ed programs, and those who have also finished their programs. So he asked this question: we have the same rubric for all students in B.Ed. Should that change? I think probably he's referring to right to evaluation. Maybe this will be something that Dr. Sunita can address. But anyway, you can give it a shot. Do we have the same rubric for all subjects in B.Ed? Should that change?
Yes, it should change. If you really want to do well, because in English, we look for creativity. If you're doing English, you look for creativity, you look for all of the other things. Now, if you're doing science, there's no creativity. Maths, there's no creativity. You just have to do it. Probably the only creativity you're going to have is probably your teaching approach, which might be different. So, it's really different. If you really want to do well, there's nothing is a change. It's the same. That's why you also need teachers. It's not math.
I think the science teacher would
definitely have the same yard.
I think the science teacher would want to say would want to contest that, because when you say there's no creativity in science.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. What I mean, it's just like, you understand what I'm talking about when we talk about this stuff. Yeah. So we imagine things. In maths, what do you imagine? Yeah, 2 and 2 will be always be 4. So things like that. So you have more of expository, okay, more of facts. How creative are you in presenting those facts? Fine. For us, is even the facts you're presenting has to be creative.
Okay, so I think we have answered most of the questions that have been put to us by our attendees. We are experiencing slight buffering there. Okay, last question, ma'am. If you can help us with this, I think it will help solve a lot of problems. Many of us who sit down to write experience what is called the writer's block. How can we deal with writer's block?
That I am also struggling. How can you do? There's one thing that I don't know. Writer's block is so difficult, but that's why it's so difficult for us to have interesting assignments, because you just have to submit there and then. But if you have your own time of writing, so I've learned from a friend, but I don't do that. I keep on forgetting. This friend of mine is a lyricist, and he's also a poet. He says that he writes down. Okay? And it happens to me many times that, you feel creative and something comes to your mind and I forget. Okay, so, and the dealing with the writer's block, I still don't know how to deal with it. Probably you can put it off for some time, and then, or one thing more, the way we struggle to write an assignment. We always have writer's block with the topic sentence. Then keep working on a topic sentence. The minute we're happy with it and it looks good and interesting, it'll flow. I think that's the first trick, probably.
Okay, great, ma'am. We have taken so much of your time, and I know your throat must be parched and you would like to have a cup of tea.
Definitely.
And something to replenish your energy. So thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful session. It has really been a learning experience for all of us. We have learned so much from you and from the examples that you've given. I particularly loved the story that you shared with us about the power of the essay and how one essay can change the lives of so many people. And so that is an encouragement and inspiration for all of us to use the pen. And definitely in this particular session, the pen is mightier than the sword. As we learned yesterday, that the word of mouth can be more powerful than the sword. So this is truly an encouragement for all of us. And thank you so much for sharing that story. Very inspiring and very, very much encouraging. So we would like to thank you, ma'am, for doing the hard work of preparing the presentation and of delivering it and of especially answering all our questions. And I can see from our attendees, they are very happy with the answers that they have received. And I know that they are going to go home with something that they can take with them. And I would like to thank all our attendees today for your participation, your contribution, your support, and your encouragement. It has been wonderful. So far, we continue to look forward to your support, to your participation, and also to your contribution. The questions that you ask, the feedbacks that you give will continue to help us to explore, to learn more, and to become better at what we do as teachers. And as fellow teachers in a community of teachers, we are helping each other mutually to become better at what we do. So we thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for bearing with us, especially with the technical glitches and the network issues that we had been experienced today. And we are very grateful that, in fact, we've been able to complete the session without any major problems. So once again, from me, this Jacob Shalev, your moderator for today and for the last 3-4 days, it has been a joy to bring to you our session. So as we conclude, please remember, tomorrow we're going to address another topic, important topic, which is an interactive approach to pedagogy, a very important session again tomorrow. And it will be taken by Professor T.K. Karbaman, who will be exploring this particular theme with us again. So please do join us tomorrow at 4 o'clock, same channel, same time, same moderator. Come prepared for more questions, for more answers, and for more learning experience. So God bless you, stay safe, stay home, and continue learning. So signing out from home and from this workshop for today. See you again tomorrow. God bless you. Thank you.